Wherever I reach my hands to cup the sky, run down my arms a better blue, turn to red and the gaseous red. Wherever taste me, I am so much more than I have ever been. Oh, 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 oh. Take this, my arms. Take this, my eyes. Take this, my mouth, and all it seems to be completely true. Oh, 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 yeah. Cup the sky, well down my arms a better blue, turn to red and the gaseous grew. The river tastes me, I am so much more than I have ever been. Boy Tinsley right there.
It's your boy Conserviz 34. Shout out to UConn men's basketball. Shout out to the MLB players. We're not talking about the MLB owners right now. It's their fault the lockout's happening. Shout out to Russell Wilson going to Denver. Apologies for Carson Wentz going to the Redskins. Oh, sorry, the Commanders. Oh, yeah. Free my dog Shotgun. Free my dog Break for it. What up, what up? Thank you guys for joining us or me. So guest tonight could not make it. It's past their bedtime. I get it. A lot of you guys on the replay are watching this because listen, it's late at night. If you're an adult working, grinding, have to support your family. You know, it's hard to stay up this late. So the show goes on. We'll try to get Victoria on here another night. First order of business, I want to talk about sound on sound on sound on sound on sound. They are making racks on racks on racks. It appears, if everything is true from what we're seeing. Those who don't know, Sound on Sound is a festival that's going to be taking place in Bridgeport, Connecticut. And let me just move this down here. And we are going to put this up on here. So this is a festival that I was so excited it was coming to Connecticut. So excited they were, doing everything possible to bring a festival to Connecticut. And since the first video I made, a couple of things have happened. First off, there were early bird and advanced ticket pricing. Now, some people got the early bird price, but my thought was, hey, at least if I wait till the on sale, right? If I wait till the on sale, I'll get at least an early bird or advanced price for 3 days or 2 days, a 2-day pass. Well, by the time the public on sale was available, they apparently sold out of early bird and advanced ticket pricing. And now there's just regular $279 plus fees. And I understand that it is not cheap to put on a festival in 2022. The cost of this festival is only going to go up with the rising cost of fuel, the rising cost to transport goods and services to a facility like this or a park that is going to be happening in Seaside Park. I understand that. But my frustration was when I tried to go on that on sale, I'm paying $279 for 2 nights. And I like some of the acts that are going to be here. But I wanted to do research, and my research showed me that other festivals with comparable bills, some of them with better lineups, right? They were cheaper. And that was my frustration with this. Now, here's the thing. This is the first year of the festival, right? And it is also something where Connecticut is not cheap, right? It's expensive to do things in Connecticut, and they're trying to establish themselves. But with all of that said, it's still, to me, an expensive festival. Shout out to Erica. Thank you for being on, aka Cats of Seinfeld on Instagram. Thank you so much. I don't think I've ever seen you on the YouTube streams before, but I appreciate you being on. But yeah, this price, this $279 general admission, to me is a price I'm not willing to pay. Now, if you are willing to pay this price, that's fine. If you're willing to pay, well, they just sold out a general admission plus. But if you're willing to pay $699 for VIP, that's fine. My frustration is based on my knowledge of the lineup. That is too much for me, for my taste, with all the other things I'm doing. That's the thing. This is not the only thing I'm doing this summer. Right. But to me, my frustration is, yes, this is the first year of a festival in Connecticut for years. It's been over 5 years since Gathering of the Vibes, of a big major festival getting acts as big as the Lumineers and Stevie Nicks and Dave and Temp. But let's take a look. So again, $279 for 2 days here. And if we go over to Boston Calling, right? Let's bring up Boston Calling. So this is a 3-day festival. A 3-day festival, right? Foo Fighters, The Strokes, Metallica are the main acts. Weezer's right under there. Run the Jewels, they're an awesome hip hop group if you ever heard of them. Rufus Du Sol, right? And you even have Black Pumas here for one of the nights here, May 28th. They're going to be at Sound on Sound, right? You got Modest Mouse. You got Goose, right? Sound on Sound has Geese. I think it's a fake band. You got Goose. Like, Sunday is awesome. You got Metallica. You got Goose. You got Modest Mouse, Weezer, Glass Animals, Ripe, which is a band that I know a lot of people on Twitter really love. I have to get into them. There's so many bands I'm trying to get into right now. And Ripe is one of them. So, like, this is crazy. But here's the thing. The 2-day general admission, if we zoom in, is $228. So you can pick 2 days to get in. You don't even have to tell them what days you're going. Just they'll check it off for 2 days, or they'll give you 2 different wristbands, and $228.99 from Metallica. I'm sorry. Metallica. Stevie Nicks is a legend. It's not Fleetwood Mac. Metallica and Weezer, folks. Metallica and Weezer for the same night, right? The Strokes and Run the Jewels and Black Pumas the same night. Foo Fighters and Avril Lavigne and Rufus Du Sol and Haim the same night. Any 2 nights of Boston Calling are going to be as good or better than as far as lineup wise, in my opinion, than Sound on Sound, right? And I love Connecticut, right? And I work and volunteer in inner cities, right? I work with youth in the inner city. But Bridgeport, Connecticut, right? Bridgeport, Connecticut is not as good as Boston, Massachusetts, as far as an overall city experience. Let's go over to Ashbury Park, New Jersey. And let's look at See Here Now. Now, See Here Now, their lineup, let's just to give you guys an idea, right? See Here Now, their lineup, you could argue that Sound on Sound is a little better, right? Because you have Stevie Nicks and Green Day, right? And My Pink Jacket's an awesome band. They just had Trey Anastasio there with him as a guest out in Mexico. But Billy Strings is awesome. Gary Clark Jr. is at Sound on Sound. You could argue that Sound on Sound is slightly better because you have Lumineers, Stevie Nicks, and Dave and Tim as like the holy trinity of the headliners, right? You could argue it's a little better, but you still have a lot of similarities. Head in the Heart, also at Sound on Sound. But look at the pricing of the tickets. If we go to the pricing, right? Now, these are going to change too, and they just went on sale. $195 for 2 days, right? Whereas Sound on Sound is $279. This is what frustrates me because New Jersey, Asbury Park, New Jersey, the Jersey Shore is a better spot to go see a concert than Bridgeport, Connecticut. Again, and I've gone to Bridgeport like twice this year for events, right? I used to go play, Erica, if you know the Wonderland of Ice, that place is really sketchy, but it's Bridgeport. Listen, it's Connecticut, right? I used to go play hockey out in Bridgeport. Let's see. Sorry, I just had a connection issue. The Wonderland of Ice. I used to be out there in Bridgeport and playing hockey. So I know Bridgeport, but it's not the Jersey Shore. Let's even go to Firefly out in Delaware. And look at this. For 4 days, right? It started at $299. Now, these did sell out. These have been around for a little longer, but $329 for 4 days. $329 for 4 days versus $279 for 2 days for half the amount of shows, half the amount of hours spent on the festival grounds. $279 versus $329 at this next price. Even if you get to $349, still it's 4 days of music. And shout out to Greg, aka Ground 27. He says, "See Here Now for sure looks nicer." Absolutely. And Erica says the price gouging. This is the other thing. This is the other frustrating thing about this event is the parking situation. Now, you can take the ferry from Long Island, and that's a $30 ferry, I believe. I was talking to Erica about that on Instagram earlier. Hey, Ben is on, and he's out there. Out there in Fairfield County as well. Thank you for coming on, Ben. Ben says he's at the Wonderland of Ice 3 days a week. Place has not changed a bit. Yeah, I'm not surprised. So yeah, the thing with this is the parking situation, right? So let's get to that. So 2-day parking. I mean, I might as well just go to New York City. Two-day parking is $100. Are you kidding me? Erica, I don't know. It's 30. I thought it was around 30. I can't remember. It may be more. Okay, I could be off on that. Don't quote me on that. I may be saying the wrong things. One of my friends is from Long Island, and he lives in he met his girlfriend, his now wife, at Hofstra. They have their daughter's almost going to be 1 in a couple months. Anyway, he met his daughter. I mean, he had his wife at Hofstra, and then moved back to Connecticut after college. So he's from Long Island. So he takes that ferry, but I'm probably quoting the wrong. I'm probably mixing up what cost he has, but he takes that ferry a lot to get to his family. How much would an Uber from Milford to the park be? I feel like it would be pretty expensive. And to be honest, I don't Uber a lot in Connecticut. I only do it I've only done it in like Houston, Kansas City. Yeah, and Greg's right. For $100, that's still a walk. Because the parking situation is going to be far from the entrance. It's not going to be near. Erica says that her brother lives near Port Jefferson, Port Jeff, as they call it. So we take a look. Okay, yeah. My friend, I think his family is not too far from there on Long Island. So they take the ferry there. And then he's also an Islander season ticket holder. So he'll take the ferry on the weekend just to not have to drive through that crazy traffic. And so I know he takes the ferry there pretty often. Take the train to Bridgeport. Okay, so Ben, who's out there, he lives out here in Fairfield County, knows this. Says take the train to Bridgeport train station, 20-minute walk or so. Hey, that's great idea. Great idea. So actually, I will take that into consideration. Um, but it's just frustrating to see that parking is $100, and then Erica says it's all downtown, and they're shuttling you for an extra shuttle fee to Seaside. Yeah, so the shuttle pass is $10 here because they know people aren't going to all want to walk. So it looks like, will allow you to go from the festival to Bridgeport Station area, serviced by Metro North, Amtrak, and Port Jefferson Ferry. So yeah, maybe that's what I'll do then. I'll take the train from one of the either from like there's stops by me. I'll figure that out though. Okay. Something's happening with my connection, and I know YouTube streamers have been talking about this, where it's like throttling my speed because my internet connection is very solid. But I'm sorry if there's some disruptions here. But this is just ridiculous for parking. And I to me, and this is my thing. What I'm going to do is this is where I'm drawing a line in the sand. If there is a single day pass, I will go and I'll take the train in, right? Or I'll park at the train station, and then from there I'll go in. Okay. If there is no single day pass, then I'm not going. I'm gonna pass up on it, and it's gonna be hard for me. Many of you guys who know me, I've gone to every single Connecticut Dave Matthews or Dave and Tim show since 2013. I missed night 2 of Hartford 2012, went to night 1, but night 2 of Hartford 2012 was the last Dave Matthews or Dave and Tim related event I missed. But I will I will skip it. And this is what I just want to send my wishes and my prayers to everyone right now, because I know things are expensive. It doesn't even matter what income bracket you're in. Everything is going up. But what we're gonna have to do is, even if you have the money, well, you could do whatever. Listen, first of all, I'm not gonna tell you what to do with your money, right? If you want to buy a platinum ticket, I'm not gonna do that. That's your right. All right. First and foremost, disclosure. But what as consumers, some of us forcibly, I was talking to Ben about UConn men's basketball ticket prices earlier today. Um, we're gonna have to draw a line in the sand. And the other thing, Greg brings this up. I know the lineup for each day, and this is what's frustrating about this. You said this as well. It's a money grab, right? Food will be expensive, and the way it's worded, that's what you said as well, Greg. I agree. But here's the thing. See Here Now at least is telling you what, the lineup. So I know if I zoom out here, I know who's going to be on this. So I know Saturday, okay, this is the lineup for Saturday. This is the lineup for Sunday. So Stevie's doing these Saturday night shows here for both See Here Now and Sound on Sound. And then you know who's there Sunday. So if you want to then plan around that and say, all right, even if you buy a 2-day pass, all right, I'm going to go in early for Green Day and get a nice seat for Green Day, or I'm going to go in for Stevie Saturday, Sunday. I'm going to sleep in and then take it easy because I'm not as big of a Green Day fan. Um, And was it where it says I'll probably be in the same boat as you if no single day pass. Honestly, want to see Dave and Tim in the Head and the Heart. How awesome would it be if the Head and the Heart, Lumineers, and Dave and Tim were all on the same night? And I think that's the thing with this. If we go to Sound on Sound, we go to the lineup. The biggest thing that is kind of I think driving this demand is you have this three-headed monster of headliners. They're all putting them at the top of the bill. They're not saying Dave and Tim is, and Stevie Nicks is the best ones, and the Lumineers is right below it, or Lumineers and Stevie Nicks are top, and Dave and Tim's right below. No, we know that Dave and Tim have been announced. They were the first ones announced. So we that from there, I would think they're going to be the headliner. Um, I could be wrong. I mean, hey, the Lumineers, I don't know. But I would think Dave and Tim is seen ones. But they threw this curveball because they just threw out this third act at the top, and all three of these acts, Tim, at least Dave Matthews Band, but Dave and part of that. But Dave and Tim, they can sell an arena. Lumineers are doing arenas. Stevie Nicks can sell out an arena. So they all kind of can have a headliner set if it was just two of them of these three. So really, we're trying to see where the cookie's going to crumble. Who's going? We know Dave and Tim is Sunday, Nicks is Saturday. Are the Lumineers going to be one night, Saturday or Sunday? And they're not saying anything. But the thing is, and listen, you guys may know more than me, but it seems very fishy. Even though it just seems very fishy that we have like all this stuff sold out. Generation Plus is sold out, right? We Harris VIP sold out. This was expensive. This didn't sell out. $5,000 for to be on the stage, which still is a cool experience. But someone who's going to pay for, and again, it's Dave and Tim, not Dave Matthews Band. Matthews Band, you would get some people who have some extra money to drop 5Gs. They have this stage thing. So I don't know if they really are trying to bait and switch us, because General Mission Plus, I could easily see them, and I'm not saying we don't know. I could easily see them saying, oops, we sold out at General Mission Plus, right? You get private GA Plus area in between the GA and VA, right? But you still get these restrooms, you get all this awesome stuff, extra space for blankets and chairs. So they're trying to sell people on that. Hey, if you need it, if your legs aren't as good, you pay for GA Plus. I think they could easily have shut the gate on this General Mission Plus. They could have sold it out. Again, it's year one. In New Haven and Bridgeport. Bridgeport is the biggest city in Connecticut, right? Isn't it? It's Bridgeport, right? Yeah, it's Bridgeport. So it's the largest city in Connecticut population-wise. Bigger than New Haven, bigger than Hartford. So it's gonna have a demand. People are gonna come from New York and Boston area and Rhode Island, potentially just to this festival. This time of year on the shoreline is popular. September, it's the last month that you really get that shoreline traffic. And I don't know, Greg, you're out there, on the shoreline closer to me than to this where this is. But so anyway, long story short, I have a feeling or a sense of false demand. But I know that there's going to be a lot of people that are going to purchase and go to this event in year. The pricing to me is level as it is not on the same level as competitive same region of the country, bigger market size, and a better city to just be in general, with more amenities, more restaurants, more hotels, more things to do if you're in their city for a couple of days. I'd rather be in Jersey, or I'd rather be in Boston, right? I'd rather, Delaware, you could argue is a little further out there, but Delaware is, I've driven through there and I've been there. I had a family member that a distant family member that lives in Delaware. It says last time I was in Seaside for COVID testing. Yeah, nah, it's a rough area. And I went to go get pizza. Where did I go get pizza? Erica, I went to get pizza. Let me see. I'm gonna look up that place. I when I went to the oh, it's the fourth largest city? I thought I thought it was oh no, it is Bridgeport. Bridgeport has 148,000 people. Hartford has 121. It's I think when you talk about not the metro, but Bridgeport, yeah, Bridgeport is the largest city as far as the city limit to population. 148,000. Stanford is 135. New Haven's 134. Hartford's 121. This is what I'm looking at here. Is this is the It wasn't Ben, it wasn't I don't think it was Brewport. I went to this place. Um it wasn't Brewport. It was let me see Harvard. I walked did I? Oh no, I drove to it. This was for when I went to the Islanders. I went to the Islanders Flyers preseason game. I'm looking it up right now. Wait, Ben, did they change the name? Did they change the name to Total Mortgage Arena for the did Webster Bank just end their 20-year? Did they just end their 20-year because I'm looking on Google Maps and it says Total Mortgage Arena. And I just was there. Oh, Arthur's. I went to Arthur's Famous Pizza. Arthur's Famous Pizza. I went out. Oh my gosh. Yes, I went to Arthur's Famous Pizza and I was oh, they just changed it this week. Oh my gosh. So that it must have been what? Oh, because 2000 and so it was Total Mortgage Arena. Did it open in 2002 then? Wow, they just changed the name of that a week ago. All right. And Kermit the Prague won. Thank you for coming back. I remember seeing you a couple, I think it's been a month or two, but thank you for coming back. Yes, there's a private DMB show, and let's actually get to that. There's a private show in LA. So, where is let's go to Twitter. They were practicing yesterday for it. That's if you guys saw the shout out to DMB Gorge crew. I'm gonna pull up their photo, but the private show is tonight. Oh, thank you for taping Kermit the Prague. I see you said Los Lobos. Very cool, very cool. We appreciate our tapers here on my stream. Without them, I mean, I think most of us wouldn't have been loved DMB. Yeah, yeah, that makes no sense rehearsing for a tour. Yeah, they were practicing for this. And as we've talked about briefly, I think in one of the streams I had, this band is, even though Dave's kids are, two of his kids are now college age. His son is older, what, a teenager now. He's got his sister's kids that are out. He looks after as well. Oh, it's in Verde, California. Okay. So yeah, they were practicing, and but they're so like all across the country, they really have to come together. When we're talking about the album, we were talking about how they just fly in and fly out, and how they used to be more on the road and they used to be more just in a studio session. That's not how it works in 2022. They all, they all have fly in for a day or two of recording and they fly out. It's not like they just sit there for a couple of weeks, right? They don't book a studio for, well, they may do that, but it seems like they just fly in. All the pictures we've seen of previous rehearsals, it's like they're flying in, doing this, they go back home. So this was them yesterday in rehearsals. They're probably gonna play the same cookie cutter stuff. Don't drink the water, and ants marching, and you and me, and warehouse. It's rumored. I heard a rumor. It's like what 3.5 million they may be getting paid to do this show. I can't confirm. If someone knows, let me know. And let's see if it's on the DMB Almanac here. Yep. So they got it up here. Oh, AT&T. So okay, so AT&T Summit. Yep. So private event there. So there we go. So next thing I want to talk about here is this is just a possibility. Okay. I personally don't think it's gonna happen, but I mean, listen, we don't know. So I looked up Alanis Morissette and DMB's tour setup. Oops, I have this wrong. Let me edit this. It's July 19th and 20th. Bethel Woods. Okay, so Alanis Morissette. So you think 10 million for this, or at least 5 million? Yeah, who knows? Only people writing the check know, right? But they're probably getting some good money there. So July 19th, 2022. Oh, Kermit the Frog is saying Dave solo 1 million, Dave and Tim it's about 2 million. Full band is anywhere from 3.5 to 5, depending on how much they play. Interesting. Right, because they do have that, like you've seen some of these corporate events, they do a little bit, right? They'll do like 30, 45 minutes. So, oh, thanks for the information, Kermit the Prague. Um, Dave and Tim, wow, 2 million. I would love to see the split on that Dave and Tim, how much each of them makes for that 2 million split. Dave solo's a million. That's crazy. I mean, listen, they've earned it, obviously, but can you imagine being a band that doesn't have the modern radio popularity, and just being able to get like a mil for Dave solo, 2 mil for Dave and Tim, and then the full band's 3.5 to 5. Like that is impressive. Most people from the 90s that were touring with DMB, they can't get that, right? They can't even sniff that. They're playing these smaller facilities. They probably play your local bar. I mean, listen, I love live music, and it's great when your favorite, when awesome talent is cheaper for the fan. But it's just amazing that they can do that. But they've earned it. So July 19th, Alanis Morissette is in Bethel Woods, July 19th, right? July 20th, Dave Matthews is at Bethel Woods. They have the 16th in Camden. There's a rumor that the 17th, Sunday the 17th, will be CMAC, right? Dave and Tim at CMAC. And then obviously they have to be in Bethel Woods anyway. So will Dave guess with Alanis and will Alanis guess with Dave? And typical times you were on earlier, you said something about there's a song called Dear Dave. That's not true. It's called Unsent is the name of the song by Alanis Morissette. And the first verse is about Dave. It says, Dear Matthew, I like you a lot. I realize you're in a relationship with someone right now, and I respect that. And I'd like you to know that if you're ever single in the future and want to come visit me in California, I would be open to spending time with you, finding out how old you were when you first wrote when you wrote your first song. So and Phish is right after DMB. You have there you go, 22nd and 23rd. Yep. So yes, there'll be a oh, I don't know if you guys speaking of that, if you guys did you guys my oh, I don't think you saw this, Erica. If you're not on Twitter, quick commercial break. Sorry for those who are looking for some order and structure in this in this stream. Quick commercial break. I made a little Phish parody called Slave to the what was it called? Slave to the Ticket Queue. Here it is. Let me play this for you guys real quick.
Be off tempo. The chord transitions are going to be rough, but this is for entertainment purposes only as we await the on sale at noon. I call this Slave to the Ticket Queue. Slave to the ticket queue. Slave. Slave to the ticket queue. Slave. See the tickets in my car. Oops, an error, must restart. Do you have your access code? Wait, we don't recognize your phone. You need to get on your actual device that we know. Only platinum tickets left. Sorry, try again.
So that was Slave to the Ticket Queue. Little Phish daily. So yes, so here's the thing, and this is where it gets a little bit. Obviously, there's a song Alanis writes about Dave. They record some music for Before These Crowded Streets, the best album, in my opinion, the band's ever made. And Dave and Alanis sing on Spoon, right? Don't Drink the Water. She's on that. Is she on any other? Let me know if you guys, if she's on any other, if she has credits on anything else. And now here's the thing. David was actually, I believe at that time, dating Ashley in 98. Yeah, they had to be dating 98. I think it was 98. If not, they got married in 2000. So either at that time or a little after, but definitely after the sessions, Dave is, his wifey. He's with his wifey. And Alanis liked him, right? Who would? I mean, he was Dave freaking Matthews. Listen, young Alanis Morissette. Oh, Lord have mercy. Woo. Woo. Let me stop. This is a family show. But listen, Alanis back then, I mean, listen, she's beautiful. She's beautiful now. She's aged beautifully. But I'm just saying back then, right? But same thing with Dave. Woo, Dave Matthews back then, man. Dave Matthews was that guy. And they had a connection. They both, musicians. She's from Canada. And who doesn't like a nice, wholesome Canadian women? Canadian women in music are awesome. From Celine Dion, right? To Alanis Morissette, right? They're just awesome. Canadians are awesome. We love our Canadians. Shout out to Mike out in Alberta. But yeah, so yes, and this is what I actually I don't know how I missed this because someone actually told me this because I had a little debate. The reason this subject is even a subject is because on DMB Family, somebody said, somebody said, hey, I wonder, they pointed out this thing. Hey, 19th, Bethel Woods for Alanis, the 20th for Dave, right there, boom. And they're like, I wonder if they'll do Spoon. And I was like, I don't think they'll do Spoon. And I incorrectly said in the comments, I was like, she's never played with the band. She's played with Boyd. I know she played it with Boyd in 2005. Boyd actually sat in with her, right? Was it Good Morning America they played Spoon? The only credit that I see on the almanac is for the only credit on the almanac is the 90 the Mile High show in 99. So we go on the almanac, right? If we go to songs, let me see if we can pull up Spoon. See, there's no Alanis Morissette, right? For Spoon. They got all these people that are on Spoon, but not Mike McCready did his thing. Shout out to Pearl Jam in Seville. That was awesome. But Don't Drink Water, you have Alanis Morissette in 97, right? Or 99, right? In Denver. And apparently, what I heard is that, and if you were there, if anyone was there, let me know. But I heard that the sound wasn't good and it was kind of a train wreck. Because it was off, right? And listen, it's hard. This is Mile High Stadium was the stadium before they built Coors Field in Invesco, whatever it's called now. The new Broncos Stadium is not Mile High. It's like whatever at Mile High. They keep changing the name of that venue too. But the Mile High Stadium was a large stadium that had the Broncos and Rockies games. By the way, the Colorado Rockies used to have attendance records back then. You don't think of the Rockies right now as a baseball team that sells well, but I know from my baseball knowledge, the Rockies and Orioles in the early 90s had excellent attendance. Obviously, the Orioles had Cal Ripken and the newly opened Camden Yards. Camden opened in 91, I believe. Probably one of the best ballparks I've been to. In my ballpark tour was Camden. I think Fenway's number one. Even going to the old Yankees. Anyway, let me stop. So this is the only time they played together, and there was kind of a debate, right? And the debate was that if it was going to happen, if Alanis and Dave were going to play Spoon, it would have already happened by now. I don't think that the fact that there is a little bit of time in here that they're going to actually play together, especially if they had a bad experience, especially if Atlantis had a bad experience with the band. I don't think it. And now I think my argument, as I look back on it, was it a little without merit? Probably. But I said, look, Dave's got his wifey, right? Atlantis liked him. And I'm sure Dave did too, but Dave was like, listen, I'm trying to get met. He's like, listen, I have the right girl now, and I don't want to mess that up with Atlantis. So at some point, Dave told Atlantis, based on what we know, look, I'm sorry. Look, I got a girl back home. I don't want to mess that up. They may have had that little thing before it, Ashley, but who knows? But my thing was, listen, they probably are friendly if they see each other on the red carpet. Both of them are married now. Alanis got her boo thing, who's a rapper. Her husband's a rapper, right? They met at a retreat, I believe. I think they met at a retreat, and boom, he did it. But they both have their wives, and yes, they could hypothetically perform. But I just think that the fact that, listen, they had that little session, right? They had before the streets were crowded. Alanis and Dave were, they was, hey, 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 how you doing, man? Bada boom, bada bing. Anyway, it's a kids show. It's a children's show. Sorry. Um, it's so yeah. It's just like I don't think it's gonna happen. I really don't. I know people. It was just a hope. The post on DMB Family was just a hope. Um, but I just don't think it's happening. But my thing was, I think that listen, it's kind of hard or awkward to work with somebody. Now, again, they could be friends. They could see each other. Um, but it's almost like an ex, even though they didn't really. For all we know, there was no official dating. They could have had their thing and say goodbye moment, and that was it. But I think it's hard to perform with someone like that. Not, and I kind of my thing was like, listen, if that's how does Dave tell his wife, hey, by the way, yeah, because his when Atlantis came in '99, that wasn't his wife yet. They were still dating. But how do you tell you something to tell my baby? You talk about that Dave, so hey, like, listen, me and Atlantis, we gonna have this little, so now and to my reflection, that's not as big of a deal. They're professionals. I think Dave's wife trusts him. Atlantis' husband trusts her, right? She works with a lot of people. But I don't know. But let's look at Kermit the Frog. What he's saying is, here's the problem when trying to predict D&B guests. It's a homogenous crapshoot. Dave has gotten a lot weirder about bringing people on stage. They have times when Bella has played a day. Before D&B, it was built up and nothing happened. Yeah, there's that's true. But then Greg says, yeah, then Dave brings some real randomly people up on stage at times. I have not been to the Phoenix venue, and I know Justin, you said Let You Down. I would love Let You Down to come back. Oh, you live in Phoenix, Justin. Phoenix is I have coworkers in Phoenix. My last two jobs I've had I know Phoenix is running out of actually they're out of space. They're building on top of people now. They're building streets on top of streets now. I know that my mom had business direct reports out of Phoenix. She would visit quarterly to the people that reported to her at her job. So I know Phoenix, there's so many jobs. You guys got the tech investment that you have out there in the Phoenix. There's you guys are finding ways to work with the water you have. Actually, I think the water from the Colorado River doesn't even run to the ocean sometimes because Arizona is using up all that. I know Flagstaff actually, I know someone who went to college up in Flagstaff. I know there was a bad snowstorm up there a couple weeks ago, and Flagstaff is mad cold. One day I'm gonna do the Flagstaff to Phoenix drive, or I'm gonna start in Phoenix, go to Flagstaff and then go back. Is that I-17? I'm just off the top of my head. Anyway, I'm gonna be. I'm one of these days. I'm gonna get out to Phoenix because I definitely want to check it out and do that drive from up the valley, up and down the valley, up from the valley to the mountains. Because Flagstaff is high elevation. Flagstaff is higher than Denver. It's elevation and it's really cold in the winter. Like for my friend who went to college up there for I think a couple semesters. I think either part of his college or all of it. So the only problem with Phoenix venue I've heard is that it gets absolutely wicked cross breeze. Okay. Oh, you went to NAU, Northern Arizona. Okay, awesome. So see, I've always thought they should start the tour in SoCal, move west in May, hit Phoenix and New Mexico before Texas and Florida. So the reason they don't do this is because it would actually be a nice little change up. The reason they don't do this is because Southern California doesn't have humidity. So, and they also everything is, I think all their equipment's out east, right? All the touring stuff is out east. So they really, the West Coast, and a lot more bands are ditching the West Coast, are doing like a very small exploration of the West Coast. Actually, Denver, in many cases, Denver gets more business with music than LA does in the sense of like Live Nation tours. LA obviously is a huge music market for just you can see all sorts of entertainment and music, but like everyone is going to Red Rocks or to Dick's Sporting Goods Park, right? Or to Fiddlers. That's a bigger draw than LA sometimes for certain, like the amount of bands, like Phish isn't doing anything past Denver. A lot of bands don't even touch LA or Northern California anymore, depending on the band, obviously. They're like really staying Denver East. Um, so you say start the tour in SoCal, move west in May, hit Phoenix and New Mexico before Texas and Florida. See, the problem with that is the market sizes of the market sizes of Texas and Florida are they have more DMB fans, and the humidity is bad, right? I've been to Texas actually this week in 2016. I was in Houston, working the Houston rodeo at my old job for tickets at StubHub out of a hotel where people could buy or sell their tickets last minute to each day of the rodeo. But the southern states have a bigger DMB draw. Obviously, I can't speak like SoCal. Obviously, in California they have a lot of fans there, but like New Mexico and Phoenix, they're not really gonna have. They have transplants, but they're not like hotbed DMB markets. So they want to hit up, and they're doing this more. You look at what they did; they added Florida to Memorial Day weekend. So they're trying to get Florida and Texas, all that stuff out of the way at the beginning, and then go east. And then at the end of the year, you then touch because Phoenix is going to be hot. I think Phoenix is the only market in the West that gets oppressively hot that DMB goes to. And again, I have my mom, I know people out there, and my mom would go quarterly, right? Phoenix is the only market where it's like 95 degrees. Southern California gets hot, but it's not oppressively brutal. Like it's not 100 degrees guaranteed. Like it's always guaranteed in Phoenix to be oppressively hot. People what they drain their don't they drain their pools out there in the summer because it's so hot. And I've been out. I haven't been to Phoenix. I've been right across the border. I've been to Vegas and across Hoover Dam into the like first couple miles of Arizona on a tour, and it was like 118 degrees, right? And this was hotter than normal. And Kermit the Frog says, I'm 100% positive. If you're looking at an infographic heat map of DMB fans based on the streams, social media, 85% of them exist east of the Mississippi River. I would agree. I would really agree. And the thing about out west is all my friends that move out west, they're not like, listen, they go and by all means, they do go to sporting events. They do go to concerts. But my friends who are in Seattle, people I know that have moved out to Southern California, they're doing other things other than concerts. Whenever I've gone to the West Coast, whenever I've been to Vegas twice. Once when I was 13, once when I was 21. Obviously, two different experiences. And didn't have much money to gamble at 21. But what was I going to say? Out west, a concert isn't make or break. And even same thing like like with sporting events. Like I went to Yankees Mariners. When I go to Yankees Mariners, I went there for Gorge Week in 2019. I'm a Yankees fan, and I was having some fun conversations with Mariners fans, and I was just like chilling there. Like the game was not that serious. Now, obviously, the Mariners were not. Yeah, this was not 1998, right? 1996, right? It wasn't like the prime years of the Mariners, but the fans they were just, it's about just enjoying your time. It wasn't like people live and die by sports out east. So that's the other thing too is There's so much to do. Even when I went to the Gorge, the concert was like secondary to the travel. Now, listen, great shows. Best shows I've ever seen from D&B as far as just how I felt at the show was at the Gorge. Forget the set list. It was just awesome. But like the travel, the mountain passes and 2 years of traveling out there, that's greater than the concert. So, but out east, all we have, listen, in Hartford, all we have is Yard Goats baseball, which by the way, we have like we've been voted like the best minor league ballpark in the United States. We have minor league baseball, which is this cool, awesome little thing. We have an awesome, beautiful park. And then we have concerts. That's it. There's nothing else to do in Connecticut, in central Connecticut. Out in the shoreline by Greg, they got some awesome, touristy stuff you can do. But even as a Connecticut local, we don't do the tourist, just like anywhere. We don't do all the touristy stuff. We go to the beach, but that's it. So yeah, to me, there's something about concerts in the Northeast, anything east of the Mississippi. A concert is an event. But yeah, and then he said, Greg says largest base is between Chicago to Boston. Yeah, the I-90 corridor, right? You go right across I-90 and you hit up, Deer Creek has this little thing, Alpine. You have upstate New York. You have Boston, New York. New York State, Boston. There's a lot of fans in that area. Justin says he goes Albuquerque. Okay. Like being in the pit there. So yeah, it'll be interesting, but they are being very picky. It is very random, but it seems like the biggest thing about the Gorge this year is who are they going to invite as the guests? Who are the guests going to be? And another thing we talked about Alanis. Do you think the Flecktones are going to be out at the Gorge? Who do you think the guests are going to be at the Gorge? If you guys had any guess of who you think is going to be out there, because we're still waiting, and I'm really interested to see who's going to be out at the Gorge. That's going to be a huge thing for people that have already scheduled their trip, right? They're kind of banking this on, hey, we're going to get some awesome acts like we did last year. Robert Randolph, Alan Stone, Mavis Staples, just some awesome acts that came through. So I don't think Alanis is gone. But listen, I hope the band proves me wrong. I think it would be a great moment, even if I'm not there. How is the new Irvine venue? So we interviewed Aria, and what did she say? There is a show. Let's see. We can actually pull that up because Aria. We did talk to Aria about that. Oh, so Greg, you haven't checked to see, who's playing where Labor Day. Yeah, because the Flecktones, I know Bella is pushing My Bluegrass Heart, but I don't know what days that tour is, and I don't even know what he's doing. But we did talk to Aria when she was out at Irvine. But it is, if you look at let's see. That's Burgettstown. Fiddlers, Blossom, Riverbend, Spec. Oh, here it is. Did we talk to Aria this year? In Hartford? And that she's gonna have light. All right, like I said, my internet, this stream is going slow, but if you check out this video, I'll put it in here. Irvine just grandstands right now. It's abandoned airstrip. They're building a new venue to open this summer. Gotcha. Well, there you go. That's your answer. Yeah. But if you check out my streams, if you just look through my streams, I think it's Irvine Night 2 is out there. Irvine Night 2, which is yeah, 5 points. So 9/11. This, if you watch this stream, wow, they just messed it up.
You could tell from those
South. Yeah, so if you look at this one, September 9/11, 2021, just put this in. Actually, I can put it in the chat. If you watch this later, it should have, I believe I had 2 people come on. That's the link right there in the chat that's the Irvine Night 2, where I believe we had some intel from people there. Well, we can see. Let's take a look though at Bella Fleck Tour. See what he's doing. Oh, he's gonna be in Northampton. See. The problem is, this is the thing. Like, I'm literally trying to cut back on shows this year, and there's just so many different that like it's so hard. You kid, isn't it everyone's struggle? They're gonna be in New London. Bella's gonna be in New London. Are you going to that, Greg? There we go. Okay. So New London on the 9th. Best show I ever saw was D&B at Golden Gate Park with Oh, that's awesome, Justin. That is awesome. That Sugar Will from that show is just amazing. That is like, I made an unreleased. Oh, this may be a come to Galactic in Fairfield on Sunday. Gonna be a blast. What's Galactic? Is that in Fairfield, California or Connecticut? You're talking about Fairfield, California or Connecticut? Because we were just, I'm guessing you're saying the West Coast. So when is the Gorge this year? Hold on. Oh no! So actually, we can almost report this right now. The Gorge is September 2nd. It's a little bit, and September 3rd, he's gonna be in Maine. There's no way he's gonna be for Friday or Sunday. Yeah, there's no way. Because look at this, September 3rd, he's gonna be in Brunswick, Maine. Yeah, you could almost rule out. Oh, the Warehouse in Connecticut. I know where that is. Okay. So the Warehouse in Connecticut. Okay. Yeah, I actually walked by that venue. One year we took the train into New York from the Fairfield stop. My friend was driving, and I don't know if it was because it was free parking. Is there free parking on Sundays at the Fairfield train station? I think that's why we went. He knew something about that. I always go to Stanford. I just go to Stanford or at worst case New Haven, but typically it's Stanford. That's a train station I mess with to go to New York, because it's so much easier to go from Stanford because you're closer to New York City. You have to go through all the New Haven stops in New Haven County. So September 3rd, we have My Bluegrass Heart. Yeah, he's pushing this tour. He's pushing this. And then, Dave is gonna be Gorge for the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. So That pretty much eliminates the Flecktones. Oh yeah, there is free parking in Fairfield. I thought that's why we went. Yeah, because we went to a farmers market. I remember we went to a farmers market. We were like kind of chilling there, and I think what did we do in Fairfield? That was not string. That wasn't the Brooklyn trip I took, the King's Theater for string cheese. I think that was one of the Yankees games we went to. It wasn't Dead and Company, was it? No, that may have been the day we went to the World Trade Center, or the One World Trade, Yankees Giants, San Francisco Giants. You said Bella in Phoenix in December for the Blue Black store, courtesy Bella in a different environment. Yeah, I saw my first Flecktone show right before the pandemic. I think in 2019. Because what 2020 the world shut down. I think it was like the fall or winter of 2019. Yeah, I think that's when I saw him at the Bushnell in Hartford. It was amazing. Has Mule released their summer dates? Yes. Um, they have. I believe. Let's see. So, and actually, Warren's playing at Treehouse Brewery in northern Massachusetts. I think it's in is it in Greenfield? They built a facility out there. Oh, I would have loved to go to that show. Treehouse has some amazing beers. Everyone who's in New England, I know Greg, you're in New England, but Treehouse has amazing beers, and Warren is out there today. I had a radio spot on. Actually, you guys can listen to it. Let me pull that up. I'll pull it up in a second. So this is the summer tour out in Europe. I hope they're able to do that. I'm interested to see. The spring tour is in America and the summer tour is in Europe. I really hope they're able to get, especially with everything going on out there, logistically. Now, I hope that nothing. Listen, we know what's going on there. I hope Europe is secure and safe. That'll be a good sign if they're able to tour in July. Who knows what's going to happen? Just for many different reasons. Even if there's a slightest bit of security issues or worries, who knows? But um, there, yeah, in the spring, Warren Haynes is touring right now solo. The spring tour is going to go on in April and I believe May, and then July they're going to be over there. So they could come back, right? The last show is in July 23rd. They could go back. Oh, Deerfield, only 200 seats. Oh, you got a picture from Discord. That's awesome. One of the other fans on Twitter, someone on Twitter was I think at the show a couple days ago. I did play Warren Haynes on. Let me see. Oh, I see it on disc. I see your Discord. Okay, awesome. Oh my gosh, this is awesome. So this is the treehouse. Wow, I did not realize it was intimate, but wow, that is really dope. And you get all the treehouse beer you want. Oh my gosh. I would just get a room in the brewery. Hey, can I stay here overnight and drink beer? Only 200 seats. Wow. That is awesome. That is very, very cool. Oh, Rich, is he doing the Playhouse? Ridgefield Playhouse out there? Okay. Probably. I'm guessing that's what it is, the Playhouse. Um, so there could be Government Mule. To me, though, I think I think you can't go wrong with Government Mule. You really can't. I think they because they were just there in 2019, some people would but I was on the radio and you guys let me show you guys where you can watch this archive of me. I was on the radio, and it's a great 2 hours. You can listen to it anytime. It only lets you have certain segments, and it'll be gone this Sunday because they have for 2 weeks. So listen. Where is it? WRTC, my friend. Okay, so the archive. So let me show you guys. So peanut butter and jam. So what you're gonna do is go back to Sunday, February 27th. And then you're gonna go to rock peanut butter and jams. I'll show you guys the link here. This is the link to the radio show. Yeah, Government Mule was 2019. I was there at the Gorge, and it ended up turning into my pandemic was 2019. I saw Government Mule a couple of times at the Gorge. 2020, I saw Warren and Danny out in Connecticut at South Farms in Morris, Connecticut. And then 2021, I saw Government Mule at the Westfield Music Bowl. So the band that I've seen 3 consecutive years, the only band I've seen 3 consecutive years in this last since the pandemic has been really, really Warren Haynes in some sort of way through Government Mule, Warren and Danny, and then Government Mule again. So Warren Haynes was a big part of my that. Groton says, would OAR open for DMB again? Something like that. I think for the Gorge, they're touring. I believe they're touring this year. I never got into OAR. Just to be honest, I taught my boss in college a little bit of guitar. He never stuck with it, but he was the hall director. I was an RA. I taught him guitar and he loved OAR. He had an OAR songbook. I never got into them that much. I heard some of the songs. It's all right. That was a crazy game of poker. Was it I Feel Home or something like that? They're cool. I know why people like them, and they're a great just band, right? From Rockville, Maryland. Oh yeah, Greg, you were at that show with Grace Potter. Warren and Grace Potter. Now that was a special, yeah, that was a special show. Warren lives 15 minutes away from South Farms. I thought Warren lived in Westchester County in New York. I thought he lived like just at the Connecticut, New York border. Yeah, OAR is touring with G Love. I think they are. Yeah, that's the name. So anyway, if you guys want to check out this, it'll be gone on Sunday. This is the peanut butter and jams. I think we had some Warren Haynes here. Oh, that's way too loud. Sorry, guys. But yeah, it lets you listen in like the different at every quarter of the hour. So you can do 15, 30, 45, every 15-minute increments here. But you can check out that. I do play some Warren Haynes there. There is some Dave Matthews. But it'll be interesting to see who hops in. I'm very interested to see who hops in for this because the Gorge is going to be something where you have people coming back. The other thing, to go to guests. Here's the thing. John Mayer has a pause on his tour right now. He'll be coming back. Let's just to go to John Mayer tour. And I do have John Mayer videos. If you're a John Mayer fan, just look at my previous videos. I did go to Albany, the tour opener. John Mayer had to reschedule some shows. And let's see. Looks like April is when he's back. Let's see, official website. They're off. Oh. So he's going to he'll be back. Oh, he's back March 11th. So John Mayer had to reschedule a couple of shows. He had to reschedule Pittsburgh, Belmont, and the two Boston shows, right? So now the Boston show is the last show of the tour. But they his members of his band and John got COVID again. Your body is a wonderland. So yeah, March 11th, he's going to the West Coast. So the East Coast leg got chopped off, and they're gonna reschedule it. They just moved it to the end here. So these last 4 shows were rescheduled. Right. So he's going out west. He's going to Seattle. Another storyline that I keep bringing up here: when is Dave Matthews Band or Pearl Jam going to play Climate Pledge Arena? Just renovated for the Seattle Kraken. They're playing their inaugural season, 2021-2022 season. Still no Pearl Jam in the lineup. Still no Dave Matthews Band. No Dave and Friends. No Dave and Tim. Nothing. And again, there's something about the West Coast. It's more not only just the fans, but hey, Mike, we were just talking about Canadians. We were talking about Alanis Morissette and how we all love who could hate a Canadian, right? Alanis and Dave. We're talking about Dave and Alanis. Yeah, DNB doesn't do arena shows on the West Coast. And I know like it was a rare occasion where they did the whatever the venue was called. I used to know the venues, but the names change so much now. What is it? BC? Is it Rogers Place? Is it still Rogers Place? Not the Edmonton, because Edmonton is Rogers Center. The Caps just were playing out there tonight. Is it Rogers Place? Is that where the connection? I know DNB played a rare show out there a couple years ago, but yeah, they don't do arenas. But my point is, a lot of bands don't do arenas, period, out west. The LA Forum, which John Mayer's doing, LA Forum gets a lot of overflow shows, but like even in Vegas, the MGM Grand Garden Arena, they may get Phish and they may get someone else. That's it now, especially with T-Mobile Arena out there. The Chase Center in San Francisco, they get shows here and there. Yeah, they played San Francisco. They've played Sacramento. They played San Francisco. Right. And they do get shows, but they don't get nearly as many as the East Coast. Rogers Place is Vancouver. That's what I thought. Rogers Center is is Edmonton. And the Rogers Place is the older arena. It used to be called the General Motors Arena or General Motors, whatever. Yeah, the Southwest gets the leftovers, but logistically, it's tough to have a tour with the cost of everything going up. The tour groups don't. I mean, the people that put this, the roadies that have to put the stage up and put it down. It is hard to go through the West Coast. And the thing is, you guys have milder temperatures, but things can change quick between the avalanches and the sandstorms and the wind. Yes, I know my Western Canadian arenas from playing NHL video games, and also just I used to look at like online at random stuff. Like I used to be obsessed. I'm still obsessed with arenas and stadiums. So I but again, they changed the names. They used to have most of the arenas used to have 20-year contracts for the arena name. So 20 years ago, I used to know all the arena, like they were all, whenever they would come out, I would keep it in my head. And they're changing the name of these arenas now. They're 5-year, 10-year contracts in some of these arenas and ballparks now that I can't keep up. And I'm not playing video games as much because when I used to play video games, I used to memorize the stadiums that way too. Is to learn all those stadiums. We've been on for 90 minutes. Well, hey, it's been nice talking to you guys. Thank you guys for the participation. Thank you for the insight. Some of the facts and tidbits you guys had that I didn't know. I seek for you guys to answer those. I appreciate that. But yeah, we'll see. By the way, Friday, DMB Radio, 8 p.m. Tune in Friday to DMB Radio. They're going to play Dave and Tim in Mexico, night 1. So they promised us there'd be content to come after Mexico. And I believe that they may be playing the other 2 nights. I can't confirm it. The problem with, now this may be brilliant. This may be brilliant. And this may be silly at the same time. They don't, DMB themselves, they will post about this Friday night concert series like Thursday or Friday. They're not telling us on Wednesday exactly what's going on. Now, if you listen to DMB Radio, they will tease or announce stuff on the actual station. Hey, this weekend, we're going to do Mexico 2022. Last Palm Beach, like we're going to take you to West Palm Beach and play tracks, play a concert series show, and some other stuff, right? Because they have a couple of Friday night concert series shows from over the years from West Palm Beach. So they'll announce that type of stuff on the radio, but they don't announce it on their social media until right before. Sometimes Ari, if he's not busy with his Phish stuff, will actually post some DMB Radio stuff like this is coming, and he'll give you a preview like a couple of days before. But one piece of feedback I would give, unless it's a marketing tactic, like if they could actually have that stuff on Wednesday. Oh, is right. There's a new live track. New live track is being announced. And some people were like, hey, are they going to announce a new album as well? Announce a live track and an album. Like, because what they could do is the live tracks could be pre-order for like obviously the next couple of weeks. An album, they could be like new album or new single coming fall of 2022. So some people are like, are they going to, I don't think they're going to announce an album. I don't. But so Molly was saying they're gonna DMB orbit for Gorge openers. I put a guess that Molly Tuttle will get brought back. She was a fan favorite in Mexico as far. Okay. Did she do Cortez? Did Molly do Cortez? Someone did a Cortez cover. I think it was Saturday. It wasn't Dave and Tim. I think they would have announced it now by now. Yeah. That's what I think is that with the tour. Now, there's always that possibility that it could come out or be announced for the fall, but I just think it's doubtful. I think it's going to be 2023. I really think it's 23, or they may just scrap the whole album. I know that may be like defeating for some people, but like at this point, did they mess? Like, this is what I would have done. And I know everyone can say this, and I have to give Ants Marching Forms pointed this out. But what I would have done is, with the pandemic, they should have released Windows as a single. Windows is not necessarily a full band song. It's right. That'd be go to scrap an album. They've done the Batson sessions. They did it with the Lily White sessions that didn't come to fruition for years later, right? They've had other sessions in the past. Wait, he says, all right, so Kermit the Frog says, I 100% confirmed their album this year. Interesting. All right, so that's what Kermit, listen, Kermit the Frog, I know you, 04, yet did they record in 2000, or did they just road test? Did they actually have studio time? Mike says, I think it'll come out mid-September, line up with them being in LA. Yeah, the LA thing is really what makes it like That's why people think there's going to be an album, because In the World and Come Tomorrow both had they both had Hollywood Bowl, right? They go out there to Hollywood and they've done Jimmy Kimmel out there, and then they do the bowl, right? So we'll have to see. We'll see. This is 100% can confirm there's an album. Okay. It's just interesting that they haven't had now. My thing with the album is you cannot promote an album like you did in 2012 or 2018. Yeah. 04 was the Batson. I thought the Batson Sessions was 2006, unless they had multiple ones. Because see, look at this, spring 2006. Oh, you guys can't see it. The Batson Sessions there's like a spring and a winter 2006. I thought 04 they were just road tests. Did they work with Batson in 04? Yeah, Batson was 06 because those songs were 2006 songs. Like Batson Sessions doesn't have Sugar Will or the first studio idea from you. And Come On was in that. So that's what's crazy. Come On was the fact that it was in the Batson Sessions was mind blowing, because it's like obviously Idea of You did Come Tomorrow. But when I listened to Come On, it sounded like a newer song. Idea of You sounds like D&B from that era, road testing it, obviously. So that's why it has that theme. Oh, Stand Up came out in 05. So Batson was 04 to 06. Oh, I guess I see what you're saying. But it seems like, I don't know. It seems like Stand Up, weren't they recording in 05? Let me see if we can Stand Up Wiki. 2005, it came out. Oh, the fall of 2000, D&B returned to the studio near Charlotte, Virginia, having decided that they wanted to take some chances and pursue a funkier side to their music. Okay. So they didn't go into the studio till the fall of 04. Which is after they started playing the stuff. So they to someone else for bad. Yeah, because Sugar Will and Crazy Easy and I know Help Myself a little before that, but Help Myself, like Mike says, take some to, meaning make the worst record. Oh my gosh. Take these chances. Make your worst album. Some of the songs aren't that bad, but I mean, it's still not their best. Like Bayou and Up, oh, they're horrible. Trying to think. Oh yeah, so promotion. I've said this before. They gotta think not to go viral like TikTok viral, but they gotta get on stuff like if they could have a full band Tiny Desk concert, that would be awesome. If they could go on a podcast, right? Obviously, we know they're not going to go on Joe Rogan, right? They're not going on Joe Rogan's podcast. I don't think David has the same viewpoint as Mr. Joseph Rogan. So they got to go on like Tiny Desk concert, even Saturday Night Live. It gets views. It would actually get YouTube views as well. Saturday Night Live isn't as far as promoting artists. Artists that come on SNL are already big anyway. No, I guess D&B is big too. SNL has, I feel like they have like The Weeknd or Taylor Swift, like younger acts that have a little bit more like mainstream appeal, modern mainstream appeal, right? D can sell out Like DMB and Phish can sell out an amphitheater, but they don't have the appeal of as large of an audience The Weeknd or Taylor Swift. Yeah, Dave did Howard Stern, but I still think even Howard Stern is not. I don't know. It's like they got to go on like a modern podcast. They got it because again, the whole idea is. So here's the thing: they are a household name, but at the same time, there is a percentage of the fan base that is very, very, very passive. The majority of the fan base of the show is a passive fan base. So how do you get them engaged to purchase or stream an album in an era where it's the hardest to get people to get a physical album purchased? It has been harder to get somebody to buy your digital album. They don't have the cheat code that they had where you could have ticket sales. Billboard discontinued allowing those to count. So they do have, listen, they will do fine regardless. But as far as like really making an impact, having an album that really makes its mark, they have to find, just like, all the time you see younger people and even some people that are middle-aged, like the halftime show, right? Tupac's greatest hits after the NFL sold like 30 or 40, 50 copies. It may have been more than that, but it like sold a ton. Eminem stuff, 50 Cent stuff, it all went up. So obviously they're not doing the Super Bowl. You gotta find a way to get people who may miss DMB, even if they're my age at 31. They just never got into them, right? I went to my first DMB show was 2012, and I was a music lover. I loved music, right? I loved music. Did DMB until 2012. It was a staple of Hartford party and entertainment was to go to Dave Matthews Band shows. I still didn't go till 2012, the year I graduated college 10 years ago. So the thing, you're going to have the diehard fans are going to get this no matter what. How do you engage the Dave Matthews Band fan? Listen, if you work, maybe you guys in Connecticut have went through this, right? Working in Connecticut and Springfield, Massachusetts, I've worked with people say, oh yeah, I used to go to DMB back in the day. I used to love them. I used to go to every show, Hartford and whatever, right? But those people now have families. And yes, if they hear DMB on the radio or they hear it at a bar, they're gonna be like, oh yeah, I love that song. But they really check for like and buy Away from the World. They didn't stream Come Tomorrow. They don't even know what Come Tomorrow is. But they used to go to shows, right? Their pants. They may have been more engaged. And Greg's right. They need the 30 to 60 age group. They need that 30 to 60 age group to be engaged. Because you're not, unless you were, as they say, raised on Dave, or unless you discovered Dave on your own, kids who are 12 to 29 right now, not really the market for DMB, don't really necessarily fully understand. And Greg says he gets ribbed. Yeah, I have friends who are more into other jam bands who hate DMB. Yeah, you get ribbed every day just by those. Yeah. So you gotta find ways. Again, this is just to actually win the room and get more than average. Because I'm telling you, if those first week sales are like 100,000 first week, which would be low for DMB, what did Come Tomorrow do? It is hard. It is hard to sell anything right now. And they have their number one streak, right? They have that number one streak that they're riding for consecutive number one albums. Yeah, so Tomorrow had 292,000, right? It was the biggest sales week in a rock album in over 4 years, the biggest sales week for an album in 2018. 285 copies sold. Now, again, they also used the cheat code. They're not going to have that cheat code. Do they have a gold album streak? I'm looking at on my side screen. I'm looking at. Did it go gold? Because it sold 285,000 first week. Oh no, 292,285 copies. Well, no, the problem is the Biggie numbers. You can't use Big Whiskey because that was the first album after Leroy passed away. And it was actually, to me, from an album standpoint, it was you could argue it was the best album, the best studio album. So Big Ski commercial. Let's see. How did it do? Rolling Stone called Big Whiskey and the Gruger's King the band's best album yet, probably because it was more rock based. 4 out of 5 stars. Oh, it sold 400,000 copies. 424. Yeah, so Big Whiskey was double Come Tomorrow. It's not going to do Big Whiskey numbers. It's just not. Because again, it was the first album Leroy Moore passed. It was a tribute to him. It was a rock album. Again, it was like they're never like barring something crazy in the landscape of their popularity. And this is where, again, this is why releasing Windows as even if it was Dave Solo, you could call it Dave Matthews, you could call it Dave Solo. Dave Matthews releasing Windows. If they would have released Windows, it would have been a great way to like engage a new generation. Again, not everyone's going to like it, but it would have just raised awareness. They still may have not sold much more, but that was a missed opportunity. Windows should have been, they should have took picture clips from all the pandemic singing and all the united positive things in the pandemic and made it a video with all these clips, right? Buy the rights, whatever you got to do. Listen, it's not about the money, it's about the exposure. Find a way to get permission for all the different videos during the pandemic and have Dave playing his guitar in the background playing Windows. That would have been a huge push. Greg says, I bought Big Whiskey 5 times. First week, the pre-orders, etc. Yeah, like I just remember too, I wasn't big into DMB, but I remember people talking about that and like, oh, this is the first album since Leroy, right? This is the first album since Leroy passed. This is the first, like that was the vibes in that when I was in college. Yeah, it was June 2nd, 2009. Yeah, I had just finished my freshman year of college when that came out. So it was huge in that sense. That it was just like, you know, you see these rappers who pass away, like they just released the King Von album. They have some other rappers who have recently passed away in the last couple of years. Their albums do crazy numbers. Wait, you don't know remember about the Celebrity Imagine video? I don't remember that, but this would be a Dave Matthews original. I think Windows would have hit. Right? If they would have did that, made it a commercial, they could have had it like an IBM commercial, you know, whatever commercial, right? An Amazon or Google commercial, and you just have Windows playing and you have I really think it would have, because we all Google stuff. And a moment where you have Dave Matthews, even listen, all the proceeds go to COVID. All the proceeds go to relief funds, mental health funds for people who are struggling and need counseling or battling depression, right? Or battling this or that. They could have had all the proceeds of the single go to that. The promo of having Dave Matthews go viral, all the news stations, because there was nothing to talk about. That's the thing, is there was nothing. Sports radio was amazing. Sports radio. I listen to sports radio from time to time, and it was amazing listening at that time to sports radio. They had nothing to talk about. They would have had they would have been probably playing Dave Matthews Windows to open up segments. So it was a missed opportunity, because that was a great song to add in. Um, I don't know. I still say, like, it was just a huge, huge, huge opportunity that was missed to not have Windows promoted. And the song is a song that brings hope. It brings you to the emotions of what it was like. But I'll tell you this: if Windows comes out, like, I know Kermit the Frog, and I'm sure you're like, listen, I'm not saying you're lying, but let's just say this album doesn't come out in 2022. If Windows comes out on a Dave Matthews Band album or a Dave solo album in 2023, it's not going to hit the same. It should have been a single, at least, so that it's wrapped in people's minds around the pandemic. And even if it never got put on an album, it should have just been a single to be there. So that's all I have for now. So for Saturday, stay tuned. Twitter and YouTube. Oh, don't forget to hit the like button, guys. Please hit the like button. It helps me to get promotion. My video gets positioned in higher places in YouTube if there are more likes, if there are more views. And listen, I'm just trying to grab GMB fans and bring them in. Let's have this conversation like we had an awesome conversation tonight. I really enjoyed talking to you guys. It was Saturday, 10 p.m. It may be a little later, depending on if they're playing night 2 of Dave and Tim, and it goes a little longer than 2 hours. Then I will be on after that. But if it is on, I want to respect SiriusXM. I may be listening to some of that SiriusXM radio performance. But stay tuned, DMB Radio. You want to be checking out all weekend. Tune in, check the DMB social media, because we're going to be getting some content at least Friday, and it looks like we may get Saturday and Sunday from Mexico played on the airwaves. All right. So actually, what we'll do. What we will do. We'll end off with Windows. And again, I just want to send my best to everyone. I know we're all in different parts of our lives. We're all in different, tax brackets per se. It may be closer than we think, but it's hard out here right now. Listen, doesn't matter. It is hard. There is a lot of things going on in this world that are concerning. Even not that this always been this way, right? But there's definitely some things that are escalating across many different areas of this world. And again, we have people that having to flee their homes, not just in Ukraine, but other parts of the world. There are people worried about being conquered. There are people still in war-ravaged countries. And just want to send my best. If you just do everything you can to prepare, to enjoy life, to live life to the fullest, but also just be ready for a rainy day. And I know it's not easy. It's you work. The wages you get aren't catching up to the cost of living, right? The gas prices, the grocery prices. You're just trying to do the best for your child, and it's expensive right now to have a child. One of the summer camps out here is asking parents for the full summer up front. I have never seen. Usually, you put down a reserve, right? You put down a reserve, like you put down a deposit, and they just keep charging you every week, right? So they want to make sure you have money to hold your spot. It is like it's tough for government. It's tough for these universities that are recovering from COVID. It is hard out here, and I just want to send my best. And we'll end with Windows from Farm Aid. We're going to play the Farm Aid version here. This was from the Live at Home on the Road show in 2020. Also, by the way, Farm Aid is an awesome organization. If you have extra funds and you want to support Americans farmers, yes, the prices are going up at the grocery store, but a lot of these farmers, the farmer at the end of the day is not making as much as the grocery store. So even though the grocery store, listen, some of the people at the top of the corporations, I'm not talking about, shout out to everyone who works at a grocery store. I've worked at a grocery store myself. But listen, we know the people at the top of these grocery stores are making a killing, but the farmers are struggling because all of the costs to get their food to the table, to your table, to the market is harder. And again, it's hard. And if you're in a season in your life where you are struggling financially or just emotionally or mentally, um, it's okay. Um, it is just in ways we could have never imagined. Our lives have changed. Even some of the conflicts, even some of the hurdles. What like we never thought we would be arguing about masks. Now, again, whatever. Listen, I'm not trying to get into that debate, but who would have ever thought we would have been arguing about wearing a mask? Like, who could have predicted that? So, I just want to send my best to everyone. Hang in there. I empathize with the struggles that every almost everyone is going through. And even if you think people aren't going through struggles, oh, they're rich, they got all stuff, they're going through stuff, right? It's still very difficult for everyone in America. So let's try to listen to each other. Let's try to empathize with each other. Let's try to have empathy for each other in this time. And there's still a lot of strong things I feel, but let's try to really, including myself, let's try to really help each other out, support each other through these times. All right, without further ado, Mr. Dave Matthews singing from the windows.
It's newer, but I played it quite a few times, but I haven't played it in a while. So I suppose I hope I could say I hope I don't screw it up and all that and everything. I was in Seattle when this whole thing started out, and this pandemic, or what you might call it, and we're doing pretty good over there if you look at the numbers. I got some good-looking masks too. I look good in a mask because it hides my face most of the time. When the war is over, we go back to every day, every day. Will it be the same again? When you've been turned inside out and outside in, singing from the windows, shadows on the wall, the way they dance. It's not much and nothing, but look at this fire burning bright. Look at how the children play. But none of us know what's to come tomorrow. But I'm not going out today. So dance with me like the time we've got is borrowed. Sing it from the windows. Sirens on in the dark, where are you going? Pretend that it's nothing. But look look at this fire burning wild. This is how we keep holding on all the days, all day long. And sometimes things just fall apart. No matter how we try, they can't stop. Sing it from the windows. Something outside, and I don't know when the storm is over. And we go back to every day, memories and picture frames, trying to put the inside out and the outside in. Sing it from the windows, walking down the hall, nowhere to go. Be good to see you, but I suppose when it's all said and done, this is how we keep holding on all the days, all day long. And sometimes things just fall apart. No matter how we try, they won't stop. Sing it from the windows, voices outside that I don't know. Sing it from the windows. We'll get going again when the war is over. Thank you all so much. Thank you, Willie. Thank you, John. Thank you, Neil. Thank you all, everybody out there. Take care of our farmers. Farmaid.org. I'm sweating a ton. Think of all the sweating that the farmers do.